I have a question about AB 2712, the preferential parking privileges for the developments that if they're within half a mile of any public transit, they're exempt from providing parking. I think we need to be a little bit careful on that because the fact that every family has at least one car, and we are not there to give up our cars, and our public transportation is not there to provide that good public transportation, so we would give up our cars. What happens to people who live in these transits? I know that they cannot get a permit within that half a mile of that building that is built with no parking or very little parking, and they have a car, they want to park. What do they do if they cannot get permits? Where do they park their cars?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So first of all, the bill does have an exception for low-income individuals and, of course, anybody with a handicap placard. The group that was most interested in this legislation were people who are building low-income housing. What they find is that a lot of times their tenants do not have cars. A lot of our lower-income workers are the exact people who are using public transportation, using the bus system, sometimes riding bikes to get to work. And a lot of these folks are willing to who would be very happy to rent a unit that doesn't come with parking, which they don't need, and are able to pay a less amount of money for that parking. What we're hoping more cities do is to add the kind of robust public transportation that these low-income folks are already relying on to get to their job and move around their communities.
Many of the new developments, they have about 10 to 15% affordable units incorporated in there, but the rest of them are market rate, and people who use rent market rate units, they are not low income and they all have a car. So I think we need to look into it in a lens that sees both sides of this issue, and not to loosen up these parking requirements too much, because it really creates, we have developments in Glendale that are approved, 50 units with 30 parking spaces, and it's gonna, but again, I think we can work around many of the things, but parking is something that I don't think people are giving up their cars.